Hey, what's up, everyone? And you are watching What's Up, Ryan. So in this episode, right, I'm gonna at least talk about why is it so important to have both fundamental and technical analysis in crypto, and it's one of those things where I find very unique, where you have to combine both skill sets to tackle one asset class. I think a lot of the younger generation these days, they are more into technical analysis and don't really want to go into the fundamental analysis. So I was thinking, why is that the case? And I realized that if okay, so it boils down to a few things. One, you are someone who probably doesn't like to read much, and I think these days a lot of people don't really like to read. They prefer the visuals, and technical analysis is very visual, so it's very appealing to a lot of the younger generation. And when I mean younger generation, most of the people who are doing technical analysis tend to be male, right? Most of my audience, if you look at my channel, most of them are male. I'm not discounting that there are female traders out there. There are. At the same time, there are female investors out there as well, but very few, because men are very driven to make money, and it's very normal to have the large part of the audience usually being male. And men usually, when we are also very visual, creatures by default, and that's what I realized, and why technical analysis is so appealing. But that being said, without fundamental analysis, right, you cannot confidently always put your money into a trade, especially if you're looking at something for a longer term investment time horizon. Okay, when I mean investment, guys, I look at for the fact that in crypto, you also want to find the hidden gems. Okay, you don't want to discount for the fact that this particular token could actually be the next 100x, 200x, 300x, or whatever, right? And fundamental analysis helps you with that, because if you focus only purely on technical analysis, you usually get out of the trade relatively quickly, because technical analysis will always help you to plan your entry and exit. Okay, and sometimes the technical analysis doesn't really help you to stay in that particular investment. So let me give you an example right now. So welcome to the stream, guys. Those who are watching, I'm streaming a little bit earlier today because I have to head into the office. Usually it's at 10 o'clock, but I strongly apologize if, let's say, for example, my schedule says 10 a.m., which is usually 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I apologize, because I have to step into the office today to do a little bit of groundwork. So I'll have to just stream a little bit earlier, and I prefer live streaming because I am able to engage with you all. If you all have questions, at least I can answer them on the spot. And I want to do live streams more often rather than recordings, because I think that the interaction is very important, and sometimes maybe people have questions. So that is usually the best time for me to, the best way to do that is doing live streams. So okay, so this is my Huobi account, and let me just share the theory behind whatever I'm doing, or why I made those selections first, and why FA, or fundamental analysis, and TA, technical analysis, is actually very vital and important when it comes to cryptocurrency trading. Okay, I think it goes for stocks as well, but stocks tend to be a mixture or skewed to one or the other more often than not, especially if they are already established. They are very strong fundamentally, and of course, technical analysis, you use technical analysis to determine whether or not it's going to be a good entry or good exit at the time. So I'm going to be approaching this in the exact same manner. So those who are already trading stocks, or those who are already using fundamental analysis already, can really vouch for this, because fundamentally, when I look at this particular project, which is called Huobi Pool Token, I talked about it on February 24th of February. Okay, so I'm gonna link a card in the description. Let me go to the one day. Okay, so let me go to one day. So 24th of February was the very first time I spoke about Huobi Pool Token. So let me cover the FA first, and then after that, it's like it will lead up to where it is today. Okay, so back in last year in I think back in November. Okay, back in November, we were invited to the Huobi Pool Token event. Okay, it was called the Huobi Change event, and that was the event where they announced that there will be the launch of their own mainnet. Okay, cool, right? And launching their own mainnet is it was pretty evident that they would have done that, because as an exchange, right, you come across multiple projects all the time wanting to list, and I think they kind of figured out that, you know what, we have the technical know-how to build our own platform, and it's more of these projects actually require quite a number of things. One, they require technical support, they require a certain level of business analysis, and I think there are going to be advisors supporting them to a certain extent. Obviously, the advisors are going to come internally from the company itself. They're not going to be, just, hey, guys, I have money. Can you just structure an ICO for me, or structure an STO for me? It wasn't ever the case, right? Because exchanges shouldn't have to do that. Exchanges form a marketplace, and they are not responsible for fundraising or whatever. But it seems that these days exchanges are taking a more hands-on role, where they will support the project in quite a number of aspects. Okay, so from there, they formulated having the Huobi chain, and the Huobi chain will definitely be it will not be it will probably be done on either EOS or Ethereum. So I think, if I remember correctly, it will be done on EOS. And then what happens is that, or maybe they will just create their own chain, right? Because Huobi is just so cash rich and asset rich. Recently, if you look at TechCrunch, they purchased up a company for $50 million, and that is something to do with the fact that they are already an established company that has been around for 5 years. So as you can see, right, I have been tracking Huobi for a very, 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 very long time. If you were one of my early folks on the channel, subscribers to the channel, right, we were already invested in the Huobi Pool Token back in early 2018, okay? And they never ran an ICO. It was a reverse kind of ICO kind of thing. And it was one of those things where at the time, I think only Binance had an exchange token, whereas Huobi didn't have its own exchange token. And so the Huobi exchange token would have various functions. For example, it gave you voting rights to which projects would list on Huobi Main, which is the main exchange right now. And it will also give you discounts for the point card. If you look here, there's a point card. I think there's a point card here. Yeah. So around here, basically one or the other. So you can actually buy USD Tether and then put it in, and it will deduct your fees, right? Because every time there are fees and whatnot. And at the time, nobody wanted to use Huobi because firstly, they were not very well known. They were large part, even though they were one of the biggest exchanges in China. They were one of the biggest exchanges in China. It still didn't help, because most Western folks who are on YouTube, right, are usually all in English, and that was the disadvantage that Huobi had. Most of their communications were in Mandarin, not English. Now I think it's getting a little bit better, but if you watch a large part of their communications until now, the spoken language is lacking, okay? And when I mean spoken language, I mean English. And so that's why we realized that, hey, you know, this could be one of those hidden gems. It was large part undervalued. At the time, I think Binance tokens were already $7 to $8, whereas Huobi tokens were trading at around anywhere from $1 to $2. And I'm thinking, You've been around for 5 years. You were one of the largest exchanges in China, and in fact, you're still actually operating in China, because if you actually click, right, you can go to .cn, and for you to have a Huobi.cn domain name, obviously you're still able to operate in China. It's very, very strict, by the way. You can't have a .cn domain name and be a business as big as Huobi and expect that you can function without all these things. So we were discussing in our private group, okay, whether or not we should get in. So that was the fundamental aspect. There was no technical analysis, okay, and this was a long time ago. Let me just So this was this period, okay. So this was this period. Kind of no, sorry, this is wrong. This not okay. So sorry. Let me go to Huobi first. So so this was it. Yeah, this day, right, around this period. Yeah, so early 2018, as I mentioned. So yeah, we got in around this period, and then this happened, and then after that this happened. We all got out between anywhere from $4.50 to $5. Okay. So from then, after that, everything took a shit because of the whole correction of BTC, so on and so forth. And right now, we are seeing a very strong recovery that's happening at the moment. And this was the dump, right? 13th of November was the dump from the very long $6,000 consolidation. And right now, BTC is only 3,900, but it has already exceeded the previous highs. So now down to my theory of Huobi Pool Token. So let's get to the Huobi Pool Token chart. So when Huobi Pool Token, being a very, very much younger subsidiary company of the Huobi Group, I was thinking, why create another token Huobi? Why couldn't you just integrate everything under one? And I guess they wanted to segregate the business, because Huobi Pool Token, or Huobi Pool, will be dedicated to miners and serving miners. And miners serve an integral, they're going to form an integral part when it comes down to the business of blockchain and distributed ledger technology. Because for a company to call themselves a blockchain company, or at least they claim that they are going to be at least they're going to claim to be one, there has to be certain levels of mining support. Okay, whether is it virtual, where it's using the POS mechanism, consensus mechanism, or it's going to be a mixture of a little bit centralized, like DPoS, or delegated proof of stake, where there are going to be a few nodes and the rest of the stakers can kind of tap onto that main node. So those are under delegated proof of stake, where you're going to delegate a few individuals that will always be supporting the network. So that's delegated proof of stake. Then there is the normal proof of work, where you're going to be buying ASIC miners. So these are very multi-million to multi-billion dollar industries at the moment, and usually it's very expensive to set up. But they are usually the proof of work is still the most proven secure consensus algorithm that is used for blockchain at the moment, right? Because the Bitcoin blockchain is using proof of work still. Ethereum, obviously wanting to be more energy efficient, is doing a hybrid after the upgrade of Constantinople, and I think every 100 blocks will be a POS verification. So they are doing a slower test and a slower implementation of POS. Okay, it's not completely POS. So the whole idea of the Huobi Pool token was to support miners, because miners, they don't know how to cash out their cryptocurrency. Okay, so if I'm going to be supporting you to kind of support you with the hashing power so that you can create the blocks, right? I need to know how to be compensated. At the same time, when I mine all these Bitcoins, what am I going to do, right? Or if I mine your token, right? If I decide to support you, whatever project, and you are using proof of work, and I have your tokens, how am I going to liquidate or at least cover my operational costs, because I'm dedicating my hashing power, my electricity, my staff, my resources to you. Obviously, I want to be compensated. I can't be holding your token because you're someone who is probably not proven yet. And that was what a lot of miners who were doing GPU mining at the time, right, are doing, and maybe are still doing. As long as a crypto, right, as long as a chain has a decent amount of network difficulty and the token has some sort of value, it's easy to mine and it has a decent amount of value, okay, it is worth mining. It's just very simple. But it also depends on the volume. So most traders, most miners are not necessarily traders, and they are not necessarily investors. They're just doing it as a business, okay, and also maybe as an interest, okay. And when they mine the tokens, right, they don't even know what to do with the tokens. So that's why Huobi kind of created Huobi Pool Token, because right now they are going to help the miners. Okay, so all the miners have to do, let's say I'm a big time miner or I'm a small time miner, okay. What I'm going to do is go to the Huobi Pool Token site, okay. Huobi Pool, yeah. So I'll go to the Huobi Pool Token site and set up an account. It's actually quite straightforward. So I'll set up an account. I'm not a miner, obviously. So I'll set up an account. From there, I think the wallet, wait, let me see. So user center, yeah, okay. So you can set up a wallet here, and then from then, right, you can start going in. I'm not a miner, so that's why I'm not doing this. So from there, you as you can see, right, you can have the POW mine pool, right? So the POW mine pool, so you can see the mining pool here. So you can start mining, and then the model will be a FPPS model or a PPS model. Okay, I kind of forgot this term, but those who are miners will probably get this term. Okay, so yeah, so you can see that if you do Bitcoin mining, you can have a daily income of HPT as well. If you do BCH mining, so I assume that this is based on the daily income that you will get for dedicating a certain amount of if you mine, I think if you mine BCH, if you mine BTC. So it's quite interesting, this whole mining system right now, or this mining wallet. So especially those who are, they don't like to trade, you really don't know what to do in this space, you want to get involved. Actually, mining is one of the best ways, because you are dedicating a fixed cost already, you see, at the beginning, and then after that, right, you are just going to dedicate your electricity or hashing power, right, just to the chain, right, whichever chain that you decide. So is it Litecoin, is it Ethereum Classic, is it Decred, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash? It's really up to you. And then from then you just go ahead and then you can start earning an income already. So it's quite simple and straightforward. At the same time, okay, so after you have set up this wallet, right, and you are someone who like, okay, shucks, I don't even know how to cash out. So that was the whole idea. Right now, you want to cash out, you can, because you can interchangeably swap your coins from one wallet to the exchange wallet as well. Okay, so obviously, I can go back here, and then once you're back here, your coins will be in your wallet. Okay, once they are in your wallet, you can cash out, or if you want, you can go to the fiat side. Okay, wait, hold on, let me click. Okay, so you can go to the fiat side, and then you can start selling off your crypto. Okay, so this is Singapore. Obviously, wherever you are in the world, there's multiple availabilities of the various currencies, right? So whatever currencies that are available here for now, this is the OTC side. And the good thing about the Huobi OTC is that each merchant, okay, they have to be verified, and they have to put a deposit of anywhere from 5,000 HT to 50,000 HT in order to be a qualified merchant, and they are fully verified by Huobi. So you don't have to worry whether these people are legit or not, okay? And in the event that they won't do anything malicious, because everything is done via the platform, right? So a lot of people have been asking, hey, how do I cash out my Bitcoin, or which place I can, where's a safe place that I can do this? So right now, Huobi is one of those companies that can do that, or an exchange that can provide this service for you. Okay, so as you can see right now, you want to cash out, you can cash out. Miners can now do the same, but obviously miners are having more bitcoins on a regular basis. They cash out in larger quantums and larger ticket sizes, so therefore they usually deal with the OTC desk within Huobi. Okay, and OTC desk within Huobi usually caters to institutional size of 50,000 and above. Okay, yeah. So now, so back to the whole idea. So I've given you a very thorough breakdown on the fundamental side of how established this ecosystem is. Okay, and another thing, Huobi already created the contract for differences. This is not available to me, okay, but it may be available. As you can see, it's not available for various folks, like the folks in the United States, Israel, Iraq, Hong Kong, so on and so forth. You can read it yourself, okay, and Singapore included. Not, you can't do futures contracts here, okay. But that being said, it doesn't mean that people are not doing or not trading these futures contracts, because if you look at the 24-hour turnover, okay, these are the BTC contracts, this is weekly, quarterly, and you look at the 24-hour turnover, this is 39 million, okay, in the past 24 hours. Ethereum, past 24 hours, 34.4 million, okay. EOS, very popular, 54 million, okay. These are weekly contracts, okay. So you either bet long or short, okay? If you are someone who uses BitMEX, you clearly know what this is already, right? So, yeah, this is a derivative market. So you see, so what Huobi has done, right, is establish a very, they establish multiple products and services for the masses with regards to crypto. So they've always been deemed as a very strong digital asset exchange, okay? Therefore, my theory back then was they already have such a strong, long-standing, okay? And there's nothing better than having a company that knows or at least has the experience, okay, of what it needs to do. The only poor thing about Huobi is the communication. They just can't seem to find the right person to start shilling. Initially, it was a guy called Herbert. All right, and Herbert was the representative of in Singapore, but I think due to certain circumstances, he left, and you know, the communication was lacking already ever since then. But I'm very sure that they will be able to find good people, because a good company will always attract great people. So to me, I'm just comparing, right? You see CZ being so open on social, right? Doing Periscope, live on Twitter. He's doing the right thing. He's branding himself, but at the same time, he's branding the company. And, you know, marketing is just huge in America. I mean, Americans are the best at marketing, man. And they can relate to that. And CZ knows that. And the moment you look at, okay, I'll give you this I'll go to my Twitter and I'll show you. Okay, so I actually reached out, okay, and this guy, his name is, I think, let me see, no, wait, I can't remember. You see, that's the thing, I can't remember. Anyway, I messaged the head of marketing of this Huobi, okay, and when I messaged him, right, I think he had only 200 something followers. So I guess marketing comes down to a few things. What kind of marketer are you? Obviously, if the focus is institution and not fully focused on retail, then it really doesn't matter, because the whole idea is building the bridges and establishing people. I mean, hey guys, if you feel that you want to also kind of follow me on Twitter, you can, because I do post content on Twitter as well. At least I'm also starting to make an effort to post at least pretty much regularly, at least once a day. That's where I'm starting, so feel free to join me on Twitter. Yeah, so Huobi, on the other hand, doesn't have very strong a very strong Twitter presence, I think. Okay, but as in, if you look at CZ, right, CZ has 296,000 followers. He's doing it right, guys. Okay, and that is why to me, Binance is overvalued. Okay, Binance is overvalued, but the hype and the constant eyeballs that Binance gets, right, ignores all it ignores all technical analysis, all fundamental analysis, okay? And also, what is the availability of public information? When you look at Huobi, right, they are very, very transparent. And let me share with you why I say that, okay? So if you look at the announcements, okay, I'm going to go to announcements. Okay, I'm just going to click on the announcements, right? And we look at the quarterly buyback. If that's the case, okay, let me see whether we can search for something. Yeah, okay. So here it is, right? These are the quarterly buyback information ever since Q1 of I think 2018. Okay, so I'm just gonna click on one of the articles. So what happens is that at least there is some information. It's not a proper audited financial statement. No, it's just a portion of it, and they don't have to reveal everything to you. What happens is that, okay, they look at they'll tell you about how much is the voting revenue locked in, total how much of the supply is locked, right, and how much in terms of circulation of the Huobi tokens are now currently in circulation. You know, they are very, very transparent. So as you can see, there's a secondary buyback, and it kind of explains to you right now what are they doing, and then also what are the current HT use cases. I mean, obviously all these things are available on the FAQ. Okay, so yeah, and then they even tell you about the plans. This was back in Q1. Okay, our first plan, and it was named Huobi Chain, right? So yeah, but apparently I think whether or not there's going to be a swap to once the full main chain is up has yet to be determined. Okay, so there's a lot of question marks in my head as well, and gradually all these things will be available, and these are all public available information, guys. See, so as you can see, this whole episode up till now is already so much on fundamental analysis already, and that took up a good, I think, 15 minutes already, right? So see, no one likes to do all this kind of stuff because everyone thinks it's boring. What am I looking at? There's so many things. I might as well just go to a chart, right? Put in some lines that I learned from my favorite TA guy or EMA, Elliott Wave, or whatever, you know. Wow. But who wants to do all the groundwork like this, right? So that is why, if you're someone who doesn't like to do the groundwork, perhaps you could join our CG Protégé. Alternatively, if you are interested, right, we have a masterclass at the end of the month, right, for the end of the month, which is back to back, a Saturday and a Sunday, that we're going to be conducting in our CG office, where we're going to fully cover the importance of the fundamental and technical analysis, and we'll teach you exactly how we hunt for projects, how we hunt for cryptocurrencies in this space, and validating them. Okay, so right now, okay, back to it, right? So as if you had taken the time to watch, I want to give you the full results and benefits of this episode. So if you were someone who was in with me when I made the episode on the 24th of February, okay, 24th of February, what was the price at the time? Okay, so say you didn't know anything, okay, you just trust Ryan. Okay, but however, like I said, each episode, we are non-financial advisors. We're not here to give you advice. Whatever you decide to do, you're taking your own risk. Okay, I'm not here to tell you how much you need to put in or whatever. But I personally, all right, was in, obviously because I own Huobi tokens. So therefore, I was able to generate, I think, a decent amount of Huobi Pool tokens, but it wasn't enough for me because I already felt that this was going to be a strong play. I was in, I think, at 20, anywhere from 28. This is, by the way, see, that's the problem. This is not even 1 cent, guys. 0.0028. Now, coin market cap, okay, you're wondering, Ryan, where is Huobi Pool tokens? Okay, then you go to Huobi Pool token. Unfortunately, market cap not dedicated. And you know why? Because CoinMarketCap has this problem, not a problem, a policy where if you are only available on one exchange, they cannot link the API. They feel that it's unfair because there's a certain level of manipulation and whatever. Or whatever reason, okay, but they cannot link the API. Anyway, you can click on the button. I don't want to go into that. So I was thinking, shucks, there's it doesn't dedicate the circulating supply. It doesn't tell me, or it only tells me the 24-hour volume. That means the API is linked, but there's no market cap. So this fella, right, clearly now, okay, and now back to fundamental analysis again. Huobi Pool Tokens, right, has a circulating supply of 1.1. Okay, how do I know that? Okay, how do I know that, Ryan? How do you know that? Okay, so now I'm going to go to the HPT in Coinbook. You see the beauty about how an exchange like this, right, has dedicated a library, okay, for you to, so that you know exactly what you want to find. Everything is here. So existingly, there is a coin supply or circulating. There's a total supply of 10 billion, right? And it tells you the issue date, which was on 20th of August, and then the existing circulating supply is 1.1. Everything is here, guys. Everything is here, and the description of what it does. So whatever I commented in the early part of the video is all here as well. What is it going to do? What's the platform profile? How is it going to be a profitable business? What kind of services is it providing? Okay, everything is here. Okay, everything is here. Okay, that's the beauty of it. And obviously, if you want to check out other coins as well that are listing on Huobi, I'm sure Binance is doing the same thing. They probably share ideas or they copy each other. Okay, and this is something that an exchange has to do. It's like, okay, like Nasdaq, it doesn't provide you with all these things. You have to go to another website where it is dedicated to breaking down and providing analysis of the various stocks. But now, although it doesn't provide you analysis, and they shouldn't, because an exchange shouldn't be providing you analysis. An exchange should be providing you as much information and transparency as possible, and obviously a high level of security. That is what an exchange is supposed to do. But now exchanges have evolved to the point that they are going to be providing so many things. Like, if I want to list on an exchange, I will definitely want to go to an exchange that can support me whenever I need help, if I'm a company, right? And so when CZ made the announcement that Launchpad is going to do this, and this, it attracted a lot of attention and eyeballs. So companies are definitely going to flock. It provides deal flow. At the same time, there's going to be lots of networking opportunities for VCs or venture capitalists, AI, high net worth investors to projects, because you never know which project is going to be the next unicorn. And that's what we're here to do. We're all here to find the next unicorn. And by the way, a unicorn is a billion-dollar company, usually deemed as a billion-dollar company. Whether is it tech, it doesn't mean that it has to be tech. It can be, as long as the company has $1 billion in market cap, that's considered a unicorn. Okay, so yeah, so anyway, back to the whole theory on why I chose the Huobi Pool token. So yeah, so guys, you know, right now technically, obviously you shouldn't look at Huobi Pool token, because it already okay, if you put in any technical indicator, okay, now not to drum down anything, at the time it was really very attractive. Therefore, I was talking about it because it was already trading in a range, guys. Okay, it was trading in a range. Okay, at the time, 24th of February, I will link the video. I will put a card, and then later there will be a card that will pop up. Okay, or you can go and type, what is Huobi Pool token? You can go and type it out, go and search. My video will be one of the top ranked videos there, right? Nobody was watching, guys. Nobody was watching because everyone was shilling some other stuff, and obviously no one was watching. It was quite unfortunate. And I'm someone who doesn't do a lot of tips. I'm not the guy who's doing tips. I'm giving you a very in-depth analysis here because I was dedicated to putting in my money. So I felt that I wanted to share my thought process, which is very important. It's not to ask you to buy, because I know for a fact that a large part of the US citizens unfortunately could not buy. But if you are not a US citizen and you have access to Huobi, and if you had dedicated the time to watch, you would have benefited greatly from this. So right now, in terms of returns, so what's the returns then, Ryan? Okay, all boils down to that. You all only want to know the returns. Great, here are the returns. So 112%. So Ryan, you're telling me that you didn't cash out along the way. Definitely I did. But I always maintained a certain position. Now, why did I do that? Well, it just boils down to my strategy, right? Which I mentioned in my focused investing strategy or my diversified investment strategy. I am someone who always looks at focused investing. I only look at less than 5 coins. I'm very, very familiar and savvy about the information provided for me. I collect a lot of information about the companies that I want to invest in, and I make sure that I connect as deeply as possible and have in-depth conversations with the company if I can. Hence, if you all knew, we were also part of the Huobi Ambassador program at the time, but that ambassador program has, I think, ever since then been scrapped because because the Huobi office in Singapore at the moment, I think they have already moved out from the office. I'm not sure whether they are still there, but this was what I heard at the time. This is not speculative, by the way. They really did cut down a lot of stuff. So I'm unsure whether or not the Singapore office still exists, but as you can see, it doesn't matter because right now they did what they had to do because they didn't know how long the bear market will be, and we're still in the bear market, guys. If you look at the current market cap, it's still 132 billion, nothing to shout about. But how come altcoins are starting to come out and play? That means no one is waiting already because somehow there are some moves that are being made in various countries. And also in the masterclass, we talk about demographic influence, sentiment analysis, right? There has to be some form of sentiment analysis that's happening, or a certain positive sentiment that's happening in the market. That is why the coins within Huobi are starting to move. So it was, okay, so back to my strategy. So I obviously told you guys that you can either take a dollar cost averaging approach where you can dedicate a certain amount on a monthly basis into a particular investment. That's up to you. I decided to look at it from a mixture where I looked at the momentum, and that's where the TA came in. When I saw the momentum and volume able to fill up my orders, right, I decided I can put in more money, and that's what I did. So when I put in more funds, I was able to also capitalize on the uptrend, and of course, able to make money from this trade as well. So at the moment, if like I said, this is one of the small accounts that I have. Okay, so I don't mind showing you guys. At the time, it was $12,000 US. It was $12,000 US. So right now it's about 18. You know, I don't really care about the whole idea is giving you all a visual, because I think giving you all a visual, then you kind of understand where I'm coming from, and not just, oh, you know, Ryan is just talking crap. I'm a practitioner, okay? And obviously I always hold my Huobi tokens separately, right, and always in a secure manner. Right now, the reason why I'm showing to you is not to show you the gains. It's more of to show you that, okay, what happens when you hold Huobi Pool tokens as well. So when you hold Huobi Pool tokens, right, you are able to own, you are able to get trickles of Tron, and you're able to get trickles of EOS. So with this amount of Huobi Pool tokens that I'm getting at the moment, I get about one EOS every day. Okay, so if you kind of break that down, what does that mean? So as long as EOS holds its value between 350 to about 370, it's about 9.5% to 10% per annum in terms of ROI, or return on investment. I wouldn't call it a dividend. It's not a dividend because you're giving away another token. So I would say it's an equity distribution, or you want to call it a token distribution program, right? So holding Huobi gives you Tron, and it gives you EOS. It gives you another cryptocurrency called Cyber Miles token, which is CMT, which I don't really care too much for, because at the moment I didn't read too much into Cyber Miles, but I think it's a loyalty rewards program. It's a loyalty rewards program built on the blockchain. Okay, but Tron, as we all know Tron, we all know EOS. So right now, just on EOS alone, and based on the amount that I'm holding, I'm able to get a 10% return, right, on investment, because every day I'm getting about anywhere from 0.9 to 1 EOS, and then I get trickles of Tron as well. So okay, so anyway, that's that. Yeah, so not anyway, this is not a recommendation video or asking you to buy anything. I'm just sharing my thought process. And with regards to TA, okay, so now back to the TA part. So TA, everything is all out of the window, guys. Okay, for TA wise, everything is out of the window. When was the so-called the best time to buy then? Okay, I think the moment it broke the cloud, that was the best time for accumulation. This was the accumulation period. Now, of course, people are saying, "Hey, Ryan, you didn't tell us anything about it." That's the whole point. I'm not supposed to be telling you. The whole idea is you're here to learn. You're watching my channel because you want to learn how to make a judgment call for yourself. You're here to learn the fundamental aspects of how to hunt for projects, and you're here to learn and decipher how these public pieces of information, whether they are legit or not, that's what you have to do. Okay, that's what you have to do if you want to make money. If you want to be lazy and watch someone and hope that they give you tips, you're on the road to disaster, because that person may be as clueless as you are. Okay, so the whole idea is the moment it broke the cloud, right? This is the Ichimoku cloud, by the way. So the moment it broke the cloud, right, it was already not having a lot of the technical analysis was already off. So we were hoping for a new breakdown, at least to the cloud. So we did queue our orders a little bit too low, but then I gave another call where within the private group, of course, to kind of look at a higher level. So as long as there was some sort of level of consolidation, right, we decided to put the money in, and then after that, what happened was there's this uptrend here. This part obviously unexpected, guys. Okay. We don't control the market. There's no way that we would have anticipated this would happen. Okay, this also took me off guard. But like I said, I was willing to be an investor. Therefore, I benefited. Right? For people who are doing pure TA, you would have gotten out. Okay, you would have gotten out the moment there was a break here. Why? Okay, let me show you. See, I can validate almost quite a good number of things. When you draw the Fibs, right, which is the Fibonacci. Initially, okay, let's look at this. Okay, let's look at the daily. Okay, your Fibs would have told you to get out if you were here. Okay, which is the period where I made the video. You would have gotten out here, which is fine, right? At when you look at the time when I gave the recommendation, or when I gave the analysis on the video, right? That was at 0.0028 to 0.003. Okay, and if it went up to 0.037, okay, you've already made a 20% return already. You will be happy already, because from a $500 trade, you made 20% on top. That's fantastic. That's an additional $100 for you profit. Why not, right? And then you wouldn't have thought. So I personally didn't do anything, because like I said, I felt that I was already getting a deal at the time. Right? I didn't really care. And my theory is very simple. I genuinely told Andy, okay, that to me this cryptocurrency will already hit back to the previous highs. Why do I say that? Because look at Huobi, okay, look at Binance, okay, they already recovered back to and above the 13 November dip. Okay, they're already back. And that is the way it should be. It shouldn't be dependent on BTC, because BTC taking a shit, right, doesn't mean that the company should be affected. And right now, the volume is coming in from US dollar Tether and the HUSD, because the HUSD is the stable coin of Huobi, right? And because of the OTC trading desk or the OTC platform, people can actually buy Huobi now. They don't have to buy Bitcoin. They can just buy Huobi, the Huobi stablecoin, or the USD Tether directly, and therefore it's easier for them to calculate. You notice I shifted from US dollar Tether to BTC, or I don't look at satoshis. I focus on having one foot on the ground, and therefore I chose a stablecoin to help me out. And I just went in, bought. I'm only focused on US dollar Tether and keeping my funds in stablecoins. Simple as that. So right now the inflow is coming in from HUSD and US dollar Tether. So this is something that cannot be really fully captured on CoinMarketCap, which is something that is very frustrating, I know, for quite a number of people. But this is the experience and analysis, guys. Okay, this is the experience analysis, because we've been in the space for 3 years already. We already know what we needed to do. Okay, so if you want to learn all these things, right, I highly suggest and I highly recommend I have a few free resources. One is the free Protégé group. Okay, that is available for you to join. You can click in the links in the description below. We will send you fill up a form. We'll send you the link. It's a free group. Okay. The Protégé group, what you'll be getting, you're getting announcements on the latest news, and at the same time, you're going to get 1 or 2 trade recommendations from our main group, okay, and you are able to take a look at that. So that means if you are someone who already is just wanting to look at the trades, okay, you want to find out what's the best trades out there, okay, you can follow and join that group. Now, the next one is the Udemy course. Now, the Udemy course is completely free. The basic course is free, but the advanced course is not free, right? And we took quite a lot of time doing that. So you can look at the basic course, and then after that, if you like and you're obviously serious, you will go and buy the advanced course. Alternatively, if you prefer to have a crash course, like I said, at the end of the month, the last 2 weeks on a Saturday and a Sunday of March, which is this month, we're going to hold a masterclass live in Singapore. Okay, so this is basically what we're going to do. We're going to launch the details very soon, and everything I will announce it probably in the episode this week or maybe next week. Okay, so stay tuned, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. You know, although very lengthy, but please give it a thumbs up if you learned something, and you will realize how much work goes into doing all this kind of stuff. Okay, and if you really want to make solid, crazy returns in this space, you better be willing to dedicate your time and your effort to start sourcing for the right pieces of information. You want to be obsessed about finding the right information so that you can make the best, most well-informed decision. Alright, guys, so that is all for the episode. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and turn on the notification bell so that you will not miss another episode of What's Up Ryan or any episodes from Crypto Grinders. See you guys.